Hey everybody, what's going on? The tarot deck that I'm using is called the Fountain Tarot, for anybody that wants to know. Okay, first card that we have out is Knight of Wands. So Knight of Wands is going to be getting up and doing something. There's some type of action that is meant to be mobilized. We have Seven of Pentacles, so this could be like a very active, enthusiastic approach that you are taking to continue contributing to something that you have going on right now. This can even be a period of excitement that you're experiencing. With the Knight of Wands that's in this deck, because of it having this, it always reminds me of a feeling of balance. So you may need to make sure what can be being suggested here is that you don't overexert yourself, but also don't underexert yourself. It feels like that balance between like being excited and putting the energy in while also not overdoing it. And Seven of Pentacles is going to indicate like something that you currently have going on, that you've had going on for a little bit now. Okay. So there's action with Knight of Wands. There's also reflection because we have Hermit here too. So this can be something that you're thinking over right now. So this will have to do with something that you have currently going on, something that you currently put energy into, something that you've already put energy into. So it's this current cycle that you have going on. And it currently, I don't know what this is that Hermit's looking for, but there's something that's being looked into where you could be looking for clarity. You could be looking for an answer about this. I'd say with the Knight of Wands, it shows that it's still something that you care about. It's still something that matters to you. It can be still something that you feel enthusiastic about or passionate about even. So it may be something that you're like happy to keep up, whatever that is, but having Hermit there can be like, well, I need to spend some time thinking about this for some reason, or I need to reflect on this for some reason. I don't know why that is yet, but I imagine that the reason is going to be coming out. There's something that may not fully be being seen here. After Hermit, we have the Hanged Man, so it feels like in thinking about something, you may realize what you need to realize, but I also feel too like having Hanged Man here after Hermit can be like, I keep thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about it. Maybe there's something that you're gonna do where you're just gonna like let things continue. Let me see if there's anything else. Because it feels even like initially when you see Hermit there is the spending time reflecting, thinking about things. Let me find answers. Like, what do I need to know? And it can be like analyzing. But having Hanged Man next to it, I feel like whatever card precedes the Hanged Man is kind of like, this may be the thing that we're letting go of. So maybe there's some type of overanalysis that you've been doing, and the Hanged Man is saying, let's just like let go for a little bit and see what happens. Possibly. I'm gonna see if there's something else with these. Because maybe too, you've been spending time trying to think about something and find an answer, maybe mentally. Maybe it's going to come through in another way. Like maybe clarity is going to come through in another way. It's like, I feel like this is saying if you care about it and you want to keep doing it, why not continue? Like, why does there need to be all of this thinking about it? I don't know why, and like I don't usually see Hermit as this, but I feel almost like there could be an extreme analysis that's been going on where it can just be like you're using too much air energy to be doing this, to the point where it can be, I feel like it's doing something to the process. Like I feel like you're finding something, but maybe pushing to find something, and maybe something that is like, if that answer were meant to be there, maybe it would just be there already. And maybe the Hanged Man is saying like, let's let go of having to like overanalyze and micromanage even. I'm just thinking about the shadow of Virgo. And the shadow of Virgo will be like thinking something to death and trying to find what's wrong with it and trying to find the answers when we need to actually just flow with the process instead. maybe there's something with that that's going on here. Because Virgo likes to be very calculated, right? And we all have Virgo within our charts, and we all have Mercury, which rules Virgo. So this is something that all of us can relate to. You know, when you go into a phase where you can just be thinking about something and being like, I'm trying to find an answer and I'm trying to understand it, but to the point where maybe it's like actually taking you out of the present moment. So the Hanged Man can say, like, why don't we let go of this need to analyze and figure everything out right now? Because what if by moving through the process, that's how you're going to figure things out? Because this can actually be something that's stopping you a bit here. And maybe it is taking you out of the present moment. Because it feels like throughout the day, doing your thing here, and then at night, like doing this analysis of things and being like, what happened there and this piece over here, and to the point where it, like, if this is enjoyable, by all means continue doing it. But if this is putting you in a space where you feel like you're really gripping this tightly, Hanged Man can say, like, let's let go a little bit. Why do we have to be totally in control of this situation, or even the illusion of being totally in control of what's going on here? Just feel like thinking maybe a little bit too hard with this, to the point where it's taking you out of flow with your other energy channels. And what's being clarified by Hermit and Hanged Man together is Knight of Wands. So this is just saying, like, do what you want here. Allow yourself to be passionate. Allow yourself to be excited. Just do whatever it is that's pleasing you here within this situation. And it feels like more doing and a little bit less thinking right now. That's not to say that it's not important to be mindful of what's going on. I just feel with the Hermit, like, it may be looking too much, scrutinizing too much, to the point where you're not really being present to the process. Because I'd say too, with Knight of Wands, these are like gut instincts that we have. So this can be leaning more into your instinct and less in that analysis, possibly. I just feel like this chronic overthinking. Yeah, we have 8 of Swords. I will say this though, I do keep seeing the Tower on the bottom of the deck, so maybe something's going on where you are looking for some type of control, because you may feel a little bit out of control in this circumstance, and this may be the way that you deal with it. Something to be aware of, because you can actually feel a little bit shut down. You can start feeling stressed out. Look, this is overthinking things way too much. So now this is making sense why we have Hermit next to Hanged Man here. Thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking to the point where you're not present anymore to what else is going on. And Hanged Man is saying we need to let this be. I see like something coming up on the horizon. I feel like this is like all night worrying about something here when you just need to flow with the rest of the process. It feels like come back into the present moment here. Like, let's go moment by moment. Because maybe there's just something that you've been doing, that you've been thinking about, that just takes you too far away. See, with this energy, it's like I'm thinking to the point where I start feeling stuck. I feel like my throat chakra is not really moving anymore. And now I just feel stressed out. I feel taxed. And I feel like all of this stuff is just piling up and it feels unmanageable. So it feels actually like you're taking yourself into that place. And if we are to connect Knight of Wands with 8 of Swords, it can be this. Like, instead of just like trusting your instinct and going and making the moves that need to be made here, overthinking it, and then that impacting the process in a way that it doesn't have to be. Maybe even realizing this too lets you recognize that that is a choice. Because I feel like this is making something more stressful than it needs to be. This 7 of Pentacles, this is something that you have going on. And I feel like it's actually something that you do care about, and you have that like passion or that excitement or that interest there. But this overthinking it, and this may be something that you have a tendency to do. It feels like it's taking the pleasure away from the process. It doesn't feel like it's fun anymore, and it feels like it actually makes this stressful. So you go from loving what you have going on to thinking it to death, and then it being something that you actually feel quite turned off by, because it's like becoming a trigger when really this is supposed to be something that feels fun, something that feels enjoyable. So that's when you know where you've gone into territory that's out of balance. Speaking of balance, bringing things back into balance. So it feels like that's actually what Hermit needs to be thinking about, meaning you, in a place of reflection, it's time to be recognizing what's important and make sure that you are prioritizing the right things. Are you prioritizing like doing your best attempt here to try to like create a sense of control within this situation? Are you micromanaging here? Because I feel almost like something may entirely go out the window, but you may be better off for it. Because I feel like this is getting down to the itty bitty, like, just too zoomed in here is what this feels like to me. Too zoomed in. And it doesn't feel like zoomed into the right things. It feels like too zoomed into the wrong things here, part of this process. Because it's not about the overanalyzing. It's not about the needing to be in control, needing to know exactly what's going on. It's about being in the flow of things. It's about focusing on the process, which is the Seven of Pentacles. I feel too like this is one of those times where it's like if you're naturally a gardener, okay? You have a green thumb. You go into the garden. You're excited to go into the garden. You love what you have planted there. So you show up, and it's like when you show up and you're there presently, the plants speak to you. You know the sunlight that they need. You understand how much to water it. All you have to do is be tuned in intuitively in order to know that. When we have a Hermit here in this position, it feels like going on your laptop and looking things up and trying to figure it out to the point where it's like maybe even getting information that doesn't totally translate to the situation that you're in. And I feel like you don't even need that. If you're just like totally present in the garden, those plants, they speak to you and it tells you what it needs. The manifestation, it speaks to you and it tells you what it needs. And this is something with Knight of Wands where it shows you want to be there doing things that way. You don't need to overcomplicate it. That's it. So I feel like you've been trying to like figure out too much about this, when if you just go into the natural flow of this, it's going to speak back to you. Because I feel like it's like, well, I'm reading that it needs this, and so I'm just trying to give it to that. When it's like, are you in touch though? I feel like this manifestation that you have going on, it's like a sentient being. It communicates energetically back with you. If you're too much in hermit mode, it feels like not listening and you're just in your own thoughts about it. There's not a connection there anymore with what you have going on. Like there needs to be that sense of connection. Like there's chemistry there that you have with that. So if you are present in the garden, because I feel like this is not being in the garden, looking this stuff up, making an itinerary and a plan, and then going in, and regardless of what you're seeing and what the plants are saying, you're like, these are the rules that we're going to follow and we're going to stick to this. And then the plants are like, I like when we used to communicate and we would tell you what's going on and then you do that. And I feel like that's actually the best way to be doing this here. But there can be this part of you that it just feels like needing to come out of this, like needing to let go, needing to get back into the flow. And remember that there is wisdom within this, because this feels like intellectualizing things too much and becoming out of touch because of that. And it's bringing you back to, this is all bringing you back to your instinct so you can once again have chemistry with the garden. Because there's nothing wrong with hermit mode. It becomes an issue when you start feeling like this there. When it actually is not giving you solutions, it's creating problems. And then you don't trust your instinct anymore. It's like you forget that you know how to talk to the plants that they talk back and that you can hear what they're saying. This is going to build out to what you want, not by overanalyzing, but by doing the process like this. You just have to get back in flow, and you have to you just have to go into the garden and look around, and it will speak to you. It will directly communicate with you. That's it. There's really nothing else that, like, you don't need to be away to figure this out. It feels like you in the middle of the garden, that's when it speaks to you most clearly. And it's leading you to the 10 of Pentacles. I'm seeing this 7 of Pentacles that you have, which is the garden, is about to produce the 10 of Pentacles, which means like all of the things that you're like expecting to come from this process, it is going to be all of that and more. So the garden is going to be, it's moving in the direction of a phase where it is going to be very much sustained long term. That's what you're moving towards. I really do feel, more than anything, like maybe more so when you were starting off, or maybe even up until this point, you go out into the garden and you communicate, and like something happened that I feel like had you forgetting that you can communicate with the plants in the garden, and like took you somewhere else. I don't know if you started getting worried about stuff, if you just started like focusing solely on your throat chakra and leaving the rest behind. It's like you came out of that flow state with the stuff that you have going on. This is the return into a flow state with the stuff that you have going on. So you can take this 7 of Pentacles, and in doing things in this way, it will lead you to the 10 of Pentacles, which is the maturation of this. So the things that, it's the natural trajectory for, you have the plants in the garden, you're taking care of them, you're going to get the fruit from it. The 10 of Pentacles is that fruit that you get from it. And it's going to be something that is like continues happening. You just have to take care of the plants right now in the garden. And in order to do that, you have to listen to what they are saying to you. You have to let them speak. And you may be recognizing that that's actually more important to you. That being in flow with that, and being in touch with that, and being in that like relationship of chemistry with that is more important than you micromanaging what's going on here, and like creating this feeling of you having control of what's happening here within this. So that's what I'm seeing going on. So this feels like it takes all of the stuff that doesn't need to be going on. It removes that from the process and just allows this to be fun again, allows this to be passionate again, allows this to be interesting again, allows this to be exciting without all of this other stuff here that doesn't need to be here. So we're taking all of that stuff, all of this unnecessary stuff out of the process so you can just be in a flow state with this again. And remind yourself that you can trust your instinct, because that's how all of this began in the first place, isn't it? I do get the sense that like stuff maybe started feeling overwhelming, or you started feeling stressed out, and it feels like it triggered you into this phase of like trying to be like, what's going on over here? What's going on over? And you just like got out of touch, where you like forgot the language. Now you're reconnecting and moving forward with things. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here at 1900. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.